I can't hear you.
There we go. Does that mean that nobody heard my song today?
Well, I never heard it.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
You're joking.
Do you know what? Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I've got loads of comments coming in. Everybody's saying they can't hear me. So no sound. You were spared today with that song.
You're thinking today.
Absolutely. So I do apologize for that. I just played a lovely song, and it was Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. So Georgina, why did you choose that song?
Well, Bob Marley is one of my faves. He's one of definitely my fave go-tos, and Three Little Birds always stands out because it's a song of gratitude. So, you know, as soon as you open your eyes in the morning, it's like, don't worry. If you've opened your eyes, then today's going to be a good day.
Fantastic.
Everybody's and think of problems, but open your eyes and be like, I'm alive. I've made it through to another day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I guess this is what you do with your coaching and stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Georgina, as you know, and I'm a self-awareness mindset coach, but I'm actually relaunching, as I'm now a hypnotherapist as well. So I encompass mindset coaching, hypnotherapy, universal laws, and wisdom, basically. Yeah, I work online.
Fantastic. Everybody's saying that they couldn't hear the song. So what we'll do is I will play out the song. So when we finish, I'll sing the song going out of the show as opposed to coming into the show. What actually happened is, because I'm using a Mac and an iPhone, the Mac would turn around and automatically connect the iPhone microphone. And so I turned off my iPhone. Meanwhile, the settings here stayed on the iPhone, so I do apologize.
Muted me, so
no. So hi, Katrina. Hi, sorry, Katrina. I can't read. Sorry, yeah. Laura. Hi, hello. Hi, Sheila. So yeah, I will do the song later. Hi, Laura. How are you? So I will play the song later. So
everyone's come for the song, Ashley. They've come for your singing.
Well, they haven't come for the singing. I guess they're coming just to guess what the song is going to be today. And that's the thing, isn't it? You start doing something a little bit different, and then there you go. So this mindset, and I've got one other question for you that isn't on the list. That wall behind you, what color is it?
It's a green.
It's almost my brand color.
It is actually, yeah.
I'm just looking. You've got the border. You got the border around you. That's funky. That is really cool. You can come back anytime you like.
And actually, I'm just ordering a sofa that mustard color. So actually, this room will be totally on brand for you.
Where do you live? I need to come up and do some photo shoots. That's awesome. That is so cool. Yeah. So we met on LinkedIn, as you do, and you've done a little bit of training and what have you on LinkedIn, and we've had a couple of sessions as well. So I always like to find out what people are doing on LinkedIn and what they like about it. So Georgina, tell us a little bit about why you like LinkedIn.
Oh, it's a big question. So when I started, I was on Instagram and then kind of moved to Facebook, but I just knew that my clients, the clients that I wanted, were going to be on LinkedIn. But if I'm honest, I was intimidated by LinkedIn several years ago. I dabbled with it and I was intimidated, and that's probably because I was new, still growing in confidence, my business feet, etc. But I wanted people who were into growth, who were into personal development, who were into leadership, entrepreneurship. And I just found that LinkedIn was the place. So I've had to commit to LinkedIn and dig my heels in. And now I actually do enjoy it here. Yes, finally.
That's brilliant news. That's absolutely brilliant news. Yeah. So I get it an awful lot that people are intimidated by LinkedIn. And as a mindset coach, you can probably help us with that. So what sort of things were you feeling when you were intimidated using LinkedIn? How did it manifest itself, please, Georgina?
So again, because I was new and started out, as a mindset coach, I'm still human and I'm still going through my own journey and growth. And it was just that case of, people are going to be looking at me. I've got to be standing out confidently. And I'm amongst all of these peers, all these people who've been here a lot longer than me, well established, bigger audiences. So it was just that kind of thing, that imposter syndrome.
Yeah. But you were on Instagram creating content on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that funny? So
I don't
why?
know what it was about LinkedIn. I don't know if it just, you feel like you're more exposed, I guess, because it's very personal, isn't it? Whereas Instagram, actually, you're quite hidden unless you do live videos. But I think LinkedIn is it's more personal. It's more upfront.
So yeah. on Instagram and Facebook, I could be the 15-minute guy, and that could be anybody. Whereas on LinkedIn, I am Ashley Leeds. You can see that I live in Sidmouth. You can see that I've got a business. You can see that I used to work at QuickBooks and Digita and all of these little things. And you can see that I'm connected to Georgina O'Hanlan. And so that's, I guess that makes it, like you say, you're more exposed, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
But don't you find that because you're more exposed and everybody else is more exposed, it's a much nicer place to be?
Yeah, no, it is. It is now. But initially there was a bit of snootiness attached to LinkedIn, like,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And people were very, opinionated about what people could post and what they shouldn't post. And it was like, that shouldn't be on this platform. So it was like, it wasn't very friendly. It didn't feel friendly. Yeah, so it's like you're afraid to post anything or comment because people are going to, tell you that it's inappropriate and you're on the wrong platform. So there was a lot of snootiness. There really was. It was like, no, it's a professional platform and it's only for professional people. You can't bring your personal life here. Leave that over on Facebook. Whereas we know, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, solo business, you are your brand. So you have to bring every side of you. Try to get away from this. They'll put on your professional image and forget your personal side. But that doesn't. We're a whole, aren't we? How can we bring half of ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing
that's happening now on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but it's like if you go to a networking event or a party or something, you don't put a mask on, well, unless it's a masquerade ball, but you don't put a mask on. You go in as Georgina. Yeah. I go in as Ashley. I wear a yellow shirt. I'm apologize. I'm this bouncy in real life. Yeah. But you don't put on an act. You've got to be authentically you. Fantastic. Before we go on to your coaching, one last question on LinkedIn. Have you got any business from what you do on LinkedIn?
Yes, I have now. Yeah. Finally, it took a while.
Yeah, it's not an overnight success thing, but now people are recognizing you because they've seen your content regularly and stuff like that. So yeah, great.
Most of my calls come through LinkedIn now. Yeah.
Okay, so get out of your head. What's all that about, Georgina?
Okay, so in a nutshell, when I decided to create a coaching business, I needed a name. My name, O'Hanlan, is not my name in that it was my sibling's dad's name. He passed away, so that's my mom's married name, basically, O'Hanlan. She never changed it. I came into the world, and I always had this thing about this name. It's not my name. It's not my name. I'm not going to use it. I didn't know who my dad was. I didn't know what my identity was growing up. So I rejected this name as well. Anyway, when I was coming to do my business, a couple of people said, because I said, I'm not using my name, I refuse. And they were like, well, you have to use your name because one, it's on your birth certificate.
Yep.
And two, it is you, just get over it. Get over yourself. And I was like, yeah, it's a good point. And the fact that you are your brand. So people need to know who you are. So, and then I sat down with my name, Georgina O'Hanlan, GOH, and boom, just like that, get out of your head coaching came to me, and it resonated straight away because that's been my journey, from being homeless at 14, being depressed and suicidal. I had to get out of my own head and I had to get out of my own way. So it just hit me like a ton of bricks and that was it.
Excellent. I love that. I love that. I love that. So yeah, and it's brilliant. So we do need to get out of our heads, don't we? We I sit here in my shed thinking that nobody loves me because nothing's happening this week. And it's sort of like, well, hang on, get out of your own head because only you telling you that.
Yeah.
So
and you think, the human, there's lots of research. The research always changes. At one point the human has an average up to 80,000 thoughts per day. And I guess because they couldn't, corroborate that, it went to maybe 6,000 or 8,000. But even that, 6,000 thoughts a day. Who can manage that? Nobody.
All right, I'm going to do some math. I'm going to do some maths here. And while I'm doing the maths, please read out what Laura's just said about authenticity. Oh, I can't do the maths because I've turned my phone off.
Goes to your end.
So we were talking about sharing yourself and being your brand and being authentic. So that is exactly what Laura said. It goes to your authenticity when you share who you are. Absolutely, exactly. Laura.
Because too many people put this thing, right, I'm going to be a business owner, I'm going to create this business, and they create this facade and pretend it's all, singing and dancing, but actually they're behind the scenes struggling or full of anxiety or not believing in themselves or, not believing in the product. So, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, and Laura's just said she'll take me up on my offer for a free profile review. So what I'll do is I will send you a private message with a link, and then you can book that. And basically what I will do is I will look at your profile and I will tell you exactly what I see. I'll be honest, but it'll give you some pointers of how you can make your profile more optimized, which is what we did, wasn't it, Georgina?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did, yeah.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do, that somebody watching can help me. So we're asleep for 8 hours a day. So that leaves 16 hours that we're awake, and we have 6,000 thoughts. If someone can work out 6,000 divided by 16, then we know how many thoughts we're having every hour or and work it out by the minute, because that's an awful lot of thoughts. But we do every time we're doing stuff, and so our brain does a lot of things automatically. Yeah. And
on top of that, we're bombarded by stimulus. Again, the figures for that are even more incredible. It's like something like 1 million bits of data coming into us per second. Yeah, exactly. Just sit with that for a second. So it's the amount of data that's coming at us. It's sounds, smells, touch, feels, colors, words, voices. There's so much going on, and that's just from the outside, and then that hits the inside and causes another reaction.
Yeah,
there's so much going on, and it's just understanding that your subconscious, the subconscious part of you, is in control, and that's what's doing all of the diagnosing and the communicating. Consciously we are trying to stay in control, but we have to recognize that the unconscious is in control.
Yeah. This is blowing my tiny mind, Georgina. Thank you for that. So what type of clients do you work with then? What where are they in their life or business, and why do they
So it varies. Initially I wanted to target like leaders and entrepreneurs, but the people who come to me are at all levels. So I have people who are still employed, in whether they're leaders or they're employees. So I have people from all walks and levels, really. But people who are they're maybe going through a phase of feeling self-conscious or overwhelmed, or just conscious that they're not showing up as their best self. Confidence is a big thing. Confidence, overwhelm, anxiety are massive, and people just being self-conscious. So it's a lot of thing I do is taking people from irrational thinking to rational, and getting people back into what I call their true north.
Yeah.
Like a pendulum, I say, like the pendulum, swings from left to right. And imagine on the left side, it's all the external world. And on the right, it's all the internal world. And we're going like this throughout the day. One's triggering the other, but we just need to learn to be here. That's where we're creative. That's where we are.
So where do you start with confidence? Because we're all confident in certain areas. You might turn around and go, "Oh, I'm terrible. I'm not very confident." But if you're holding down a job, then you must be really confident at doing that specific job. So how where are you finding that people aren't confident?
Well, they're still not confident within themselves. So a lot of people do what they think they have to do. A lot of people are wearing hats and roles just because they feel they have to do it, which doesn't mean they're confident at doing it. They're not believing in themselves. So a lot of the time it's just looking at, like you just said, where does it show up? How is it showing up? So what give me an example. What are you not confident in? How is it affecting you? But often it's their decision making. They don't believe in themselves, that the decisions they're making. They don't believe people like them. That's a biggie. They don't show up at work because they think people won't listen to them. people don't respect them, and people, just don't like them.
It reminds me of an old joke that I heard, and his turns around to the lady and says, I don't want to go to school today. No, come on, you need to go. Yeah, but I don't want to go to school today. The kids all hate me. The teachers all hate me. She says, yeah, but you need to go to school. You're the headmaster.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
But it's true. It's true, isn't it? It's like, we put on a brave face.
Often it's connected to the hats and the labels we're wearing.
Yeah.
If you strip all of them, strip all of it, and just be your raw self, your naked, unique self, there's no problems. You've stripped all the problems away. Our well-being, our default setting is well-being. We've learned how not to be. We've learned all of that, and we can unlearn it, and we just strip it. We strip it away layer by layer.
Laura's going to come up with this. Love the get out of your head concept, learning how to shut out all of those things crowding our brain. Absolutely, Laura, we do, don't we? Have you heard of a guy called Mo Gaudat, Georgina? Mo Gaudat. I'm gonna write his name up on the. I'm gonna. It's here somewhere. So he talks about, like you say, we've learned all this stuff, and he says he talks about happiness. And what the thing is with that is, you sort of like think about your common state. Are you happy? Are you not happy? And basically, when we're born, we are born. Our default is happy. You look at a baby; they're always smiling. They're always happy. And there's certain things that make them not happy. So a wet nappy, hungry, teething or something like that. But apart from, you take all of that away, then they're happy. And we get to an age, and I really don't know what that age is. And we're starting to see external pressures and these happen and what have you. And then that makes us unhappy. And we're trying to fill our happiness by buying stuff, by doing things and stuff like that. And so, the natural default, like you say, is well-being.
And that's exactly it. And if you think, under the age of 7, my background is childcare, was childcare initially, childcare, play work, youth work. And up to the age of 7, that's when our emotional set points are wired. So as an adult, we operate through those emotional set points we created before we were 7. And that's what causes a lot of people's problem is recognizing that you wouldn't let a 5-year-old decide on, make big critical decisions. But yet a lot of people are making decisions based from their 5-year-old self. So it's just self-awareness. That's why I say, self-awareness is key. How self-aware are you? What does self-awareness mean?
Go on, tell me. What does self-awareness mean?
Well, you tell me. What does self-awareness mean to you, Ashley? If I said to you, are you self-aware? What does self-awareness mean?
You're not allowed to put me on the spot. Self-awareness. Okay. How I am, how I present myself, how I am to other people, how I project myself. And so, I know that I'm bouncy. I know that I can be annoying. I also know that I'm helpful and kind. Is that what you mean?
And then the layer below that is about how you're feeling, how things make you feel, how you present, so how you respond to the world based on how you're feeling. And it's owning, your triggers. It's owning what triggers you. It's also owning how you're coming across. Like if we go around in life and we blame everybody else and everything else, how are we ever going to grow and learn? So sometimes
absolutely.
It's being the mature one and saying, okay, looking in the mirror and accept that actually maybe I could tweak how I do respond to certain people or certain situations. So it's being able to look in the mirror and look at every part of you. Being vulnerable is not a weakness, it's a skill. Happiness is a choice. Absolutely.
This is a great question, Georgina. Would you say that happiness is a choice? Thank you, Laura. This is what Mo Gaudat talks about.
Everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. Just as we have all these thoughts, we can choose which thought we connect to. Like I like to think of your thoughts as like a conveyor belt. You've got a constant stream of thoughts just They're just constantly coming in, and you can just look at them, and if you don't interact within 5 seconds, they'll go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it takes just 5 seconds to interact with a thought that then becomes part of your conscious awareness.
Okay.
So just practice being the observer. Take the seat of observation, and absolutely you can choose happiness. And the key to that, or the skill to that, is embedding gratitude, an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah. And this is why I do my gratitude post on a Friday. I journal, so every night I write down what I'm grateful for. How do we get into doing that? Because that's a great practice to get into, isn't it?
Well, like, I'm a big fan of the universal laws. Like, a lot of people know about law of attraction, but I don't think many people are aware that law of attraction is one of 12 universal laws, and they're all very, very connected. So just understanding that, the law of polarity, the law of gender, the law of compensation, there's so many, the law of transmutation of perpetual energy. That's another way of saying law of attraction. So it's understanding nature, understanding universe, understanding what you're a part of. And instead of waking up in the morning and think, oh my gosh, I've got to go and face that boss. Oh my God, I've got to face that bill. Open your eyes and give thanks. You've opened your eyes, look at the sky and be grateful. So everything's a choice. You choose whether you're going to be a pessimist or an optimist.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was homeless at 15 for a couple of years, suicidal, depressed. I had my lowest point in my teenage years. But what I always managed to do was remain the eternal optimist. And what helped me was, no matter how bad things were, even if I had no food to eat, I didn't know where I was sleeping tonight, I would always look around me and think, there's always people worse off than me. It took me years later to realize that was me not valuing myself. I've come a long way since then, but it helped me get out of that particular situation. So gratitude, again, start with the second you open your eyes. The first thing you should do as you open your eyes is say thank you. That's it. And build from there. Then think of people, think of things that you can give thanks for every single day.
So when you were at your lowest, how did you get to where you are now? What was that journey like?
So like I said, I was the eternal optimist, and I just knew this wasn't supposed to be my life. I just knew I wasn't a quitter. I wasn't going to give up. So I just knew I had to just dig my heels in. I always thought education was the way out. So I left school with no exams. They didn't let me do my exams, but I managed to start from the bottom and get 2 degrees. But
wow.
Since then, I've also learned it's not even just about qualifications. It's not about that. It is about you as a person and what you bring to the world and how you interact with the world. So it was just, I always knew there was better for me. I always knew I was going to make an impact. So I was just focused on giving back, I guess.
Yeah, no, fantastic. That's a great story. Maybe you have to come back and tell us that story in full. We've almost run out of time, but you've got something coming up where you can help us. Is that right?
Yeah. So because I've been launched now 5 years, and I'm integrating my hypnotherapy now and my universal laws. Because again, I used to, follow the law of attraction for many years, but I was always a bit shy to share it because pre-2020, people weren't really that into it or didn't really accept it. Whereas now, I think the world's changed. We're all evolving. People are finally connecting to that big thing we're a part of, that big thing we're sitting on, So this event is to launch my relaunch. So it's a celebration and an elevation, if you like. So it's sharing my growth, but also I want to share with everybody else. So it's an hour event, whereas I'm going to do a little bit of hypnotherapy. I'm going to do some coaching. We're going to look at money mindset. We're going to have some success stories. There'll be a raffle for a free coaching session and a free hypnotherapy session. So, I just want to generate some excitement and a bit of a buzz and get people to feel my energy and feel me in a real life scenario. And it'll be an hour of transformation.
And where, when?
So it's the 28th of September.
Yeah.
It'll be online. So it's on Eventbrite, but I can share it.
If you put the link in here, the link is also in the show notes if you're listening to this on the podcast. So no, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to play this song out. I've got one last question for you. If anyone else has got any questions, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go and find out who I've got coming on next week. I've just got to stop that there. I have got the amazing Becky Craven. So she's coming on next week to talk to us about Instagram and photos with our mobile phones. There's so much you can do with a mobile phone. So Becky's going to come on and tell us that. And she's actually holding... we're together. We had so much fun last week. We're doing an event here on the 26th of September in real life. So if you're down in the Southwest, then come and see us. If not, you can watch Becky next week. So my very last question for you is: what advice would you give your 16-year-old self, Georgina?
See, I knew this was coming, so I prepared for this. So as I said, at 16, at my very lowest, abandoned, homeless, and I think my biggest message would be don't take it personal, because I personalized everything. And actually it's part of the plan. It's part of the journey. So don't personalize it. Just get through it.
Absolutely. Love that. Absolutely love that. So can you hear the guitar?
I can this time.
And you can hear my voice?
Yeah.
So this is, for all of those that missed this is Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Thank you very much for coming on today.
You're welcome.
And thank you to everybody else for joining us as well. Singing, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gotta be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing's gotta be alright. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Woke up this morning, I smile with the rising sun. The three little birds touch on my doorstep, singing sweet song. Our melody's pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing. I'm gonna actually end the broadcast now and carry on singing as it goes, because every